What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XYO today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 24th day of October. Here we are sitting at about $0.0083 right now, 8 hours, 20 minutes left in this day. In the midst of a pump, you're up 14.6, 15% right now. And I'm making this video because while I do think that XYO is a exceptional project and I do believe that it will see new all-time highs, we'll see dramatically higher prices by the end of this cycle. Let me actually get it here. I do think we'll see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle, potentially even prices that are at $1 or more, but genuinely crazy expectations here. Even though I think that, I do want to just get on here and say that we're probably at a point where these kind of shenanigans happen where we pump and then we come back down, right? I'm making this video effectively to talk about the long term with XYO, but also to discuss that it's probably not a good time to buy. If you've been on the fence for buying XYO here or there, you just haven't pulled the trigger, do not let this force your hand, okay? Because likely you will regret that decision in a matter of hours, let alone tomorrow or the next day. If we look at this on a 1 hour perspective here, looking at the 1 hour time frame, and I'd actually like to look at Coinbase because there's more there's volume and stuff here. There's a lot of volume coming in on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, a lot of volume here pumping this price up. We've seen this kind of stuff happen before with price action. Over here, very similar movement right there. A lot more volume. We do have 19 minutes left. There's still room for a lot of volume to come in. I wouldn't be surprised if we did move higher, but let's look at the Fibonacci retracement levels and let's see where it might make sense. Let's see. What fib should I use? I feel like let's look at the 4 hour time frame. Let's look here. No, maybe not the daily time frame. Going all over the place. We'll use this low. No. Let's use this low to high. Low here to high here. And then we'll use the other low to high as well. Low to high there. If you were to move higher, the highest I'd give you, as crazy as it might sound, is about 1.1 cent. Now, you could see some spectacular growth where you do something like this here, but again, we've seen that happen, and then you come back down. I say 1.1 cent because that is the golden ratio right there where we would likely find resistance, okay? And it's actually just below 1.1 cent at that, so I would doubt that this move takes us higher than that. That doesn't mean that we're going to go there. It's very possible that we stop here, but I would think the 786 is a possible area as well, point of interest. 786 right there at about $0.009. Right here at prior support, right here at prior support, right there at prior support, right there at prior support. I mean, like we're right there at prior resistance, all in this area. Just above, just below $0.009. Makes sense to me. That's probably where we would go. Or we could find resistance right here as well. But it would make more sense, I think, to go just a little bit higher. A little bit, maybe up to 0085, 0087 at least, if not higher. That'd be my expectation. And then again, we probably come back down. We probably come back down all the way to the low ends of this area here. I want to look at the other fib and just see if this agrees with anything else that we've seen. From a low to a high. Right at the 1414. Nice reaction. Typically with this reaction, you do expect to come up and find resistance at the 786, 886 zone. So that is just above 009, 009 to 0096. I feel better about that. That makes sense to me. That's probably where you're going to go. And you are showing direct significance at that 1414 right there. So I think that makes sense to me. 0091 to 0096, that's the target area. You're at 0083 now, so this pump probably continues. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or the next day we pulled back to prices that are even lower than where we are now. I doubt we go lower than this low. I'm confident that that's the low. That's a nice double bottom reaction. But again, even here, look at how high we went. We went all the way up here, and we still came back down a pretty significant way. I guess we didn't go all the way back down below the current prices, but I really wouldn't be surprised if over the coming days, maybe over the weekend or sometime next week, we saw prices that were back down below 008, okay? Overall, again, looking at this on a weekly time frame, XYO is kind of at a massive turning point here, right? You got this double bottom scenario playing out for you. Very, very nice kind of structure there. Overall, you've been building, right? Higher lows, higher highs within this range. And I think we're at the bottom of the range. I think it's very obvious that we are at the bottom of the range. If we take this here from a low point, we take a trend line here, and we put it, at the weekly close, not at the wicking points, but at the closing low right there. We're finding support right on this line, and I think we're finding immaculate support. I mean, this could be an argument, a real argument, and to suggest that not only do we go higher than I'm expecting, but that when we pull back, we probably don't even come back down to this area. It is possible that we don't return to this area, but knowing how XYO likes to perform, I'm pretty confident that we're going to see prices below 0.008 again, right? This is probably not the best time to FOMO, but you're in a really tricky situation because if you want to buy XYO, in all fairness, it is at a really good price. Even if it drops back down, like who cares? You are at a really good price from your high. I mean, this was some of the most desirable price action for the past like however many months now. I mean, it's very possible that you go higher and that you don't come back down, but I would expect that we do return back to levels that are here or if not lower. I think if you just wait a couple of days, things will settle. The dust will settle, and then we'll be moving up higher in a matter of no time. If we look at the weekly time frame, again, I am expecting that we see higher prices. I am expecting that we see new all-time highs. That's never been a doubt in my mind. XYO looks more bullish than the average crypto, that's for sure, right? We've got higher lows, higher highs. You're in an accumulative phase here, and whenever this breaks out to the upside, you're going to be seeing new all-time highs in a very, very short amount of time. From a high to a low, and that was not the high. Let me just get it on there. Let me see. High right there, perfect. And we're going to take this low, not the fake out low, okay? I think that's appropriate. I think that that's appropriate, yeah. It looks like you're respecting these fibs here. So high to low. The expectation then would be that XYO from the current price, at a minimum by the end of the cycle, we see something of like 21 cents, something like that, right? That's a minimum target. I think that's a good minimum target to have right there. 23x overall. That would be the expectation by the end of the cycle for XYO, that we see that, right? Again, looking at this thing from its historical perspective, for all the history that we have, you had a very nice double bottom W pattern down here, went all the way up, found support at the same areas that you found resistance at the beginning of this W back here, and you've been building higher lows and higher highs since. You've just been accumulating. So I'm really not worried about the price action. I'm very confident you're going to see new all-time highs, and this is, again, I can't say it more clearly, the minimum expectation, the low end. We can stop here, but likely we go higher, right? The golden ratio all the way up here at about a 78, almost a 79x actually, is at about 65 cents. And we absolutely could stop there. Although I think that we could stop there, that is not the maximum end of our expectations. It's not the maximum end of our realm of possibilities, right? We go to XYO here. The market cap is 115 million. With this, if you were to see a 100x, it puts you at about a $12 billion market cap. And $12 billion is a lot of money. Going from 115 million to 12 billion, that's a huge amount of growth. But for XYO, we've been in the space now since 2018. I think even before this, I think you were a project even before you listed here. You've been around for quite some time. A $12 billion market cap, it's not that you're entitled to it, but it's something that you could grasp easily. Let's just leave it at that. You could grasp that easily. So let's stretch the imagination a little bit. Instead of 12 billion, what about 25 billion? Now we're getting somewhere. What about 50? What about 100? You're probably not going to see 100, not this cycle. Not that you can't see it over time, but if you were to see 100, I think you'd be at a higher market cap by now. But I do oftentimes say that a crypto that's in its first bull market will likely not see anything above $60 billion and definitely not above 100. So the fact that you've been around for multiple cycles, bull cycles and bear markets, only gives you an advantage for the possibility of higher levels. Because again, the fact that you've been around, we're in the institutional cycle. I was actually talking to somebody about this, and I've talked to so many people about this exact same thing, actually, that we are in the institutional cycle. Institutions aren't going to put money in your random low-cap crypto that just came out this year. If they put it in a low-cap coin, and $100 million is definitely a low-cap coin, if they put it in a low-cap coin like this, when I say they, I mean institutions, and by it, I mean their funding. If they fund a coin like this, they invest in a coin like this, it's not going to be a new coin. It'll be a coin that looks like this, that has been through multiple bear markets, that has positive structure over the long term, that has a roadmap and a plan and a team that's still developing this project and a goal that they're working to achieve, right? That all culminated together, I think, could allow for some spectacular price action to take place, you guys. I mean, we could see, and it might sound crazy, like we could see some crazy stuff, man. From here, I mean, genuinely, a $5 price is possible. But I think, again, as far as maximum limitations go, that's probably it. Is like all the way up here, $5, $6, something like that. That's probably the maximum of your limitations. I doubt we stop here. I doubt we stop here. We get to 65 cents. Okay, that's a possibility. Golden ratio, 76x. Could we get to $1.58, $2.30 instead. We absolutely could. You know, it's 100. It's almost a 200x, almost a 280x there. 180x to 280x potential. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, that would bring us to a market cap roughly of 180x would be what, like 20 billion to $40 billion, I guess, right? No, 20 billion to like $30 billion. I want to say, or 35 billion, something like that. An achievable market cap, not something that's out of our reach, like a multi-$100 billion market cap, right? Not that that's out of your reach ever, but just this cycle, I highly doubt that you go from that, right? If you were to see that kind of market cap, you probably would have seen a lot more growth already. But I do believe that you've got a lot of potential. All in all, cycle high predictions anywhere from as low as 20 cents to as high as $5, $6 even. But most likely you stop somewhere around 65 cents to $2.30. That'd be my guess. Most likely you stop somewhere in this range, right in the middle there. I got nothing else. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. If this isn't accumulation, I don't know what planet you're living on, because this is absolutely accumulation. This is a long phase of accumulation throughout this bull market. You've got some very bullish prospects ahead of you. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if XYO is at 21 cents by the end of the year, let alone by the end of the cycle. I'll see you at the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.